Hello, everyone. My name is Marion with DTM Real Talk Channel. It's the channel that you can tune into, have the ability to listen to the thoughts of others about topics all over the world that touch every one of our lives. Everybody goes through basically the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through, someone else has already been there. Maybe you can find hope. Maybe it's a pathway that can set you on the right road just by tuning in. So DTM Real Talk, just keeping it real. And if you like it, like us at the bottom, subscribe, and let us know just how we helped you. Just keeping it real. Nothing but love. Welcome to DTM Real Talk, and yes, I'm excited again because tonight we actually have very special people. I guess y'all say everybody I have on as a guest are very special, and they are. But these two are super very special to me. Is that a word, or did I just make that up?
You just made it up, but it's good. That's how we rock.
These are my cousins, yeah. And so anyway, they keep up with me and they keep up with DTM and we were just talking one day, you know, after you had your therapy or something, and we were just talking about where God had brought us from and all that. And she was telling me, because I remember her first marriage, right? And we were talking about it. And I said, see, you would just share that with the world because that's so powerful to know where you were and how you met Cousin Bubbles. I have to tell you about how he got that name.
Okay, Mary.
The boy saw me in his cleaners one day and went back and told his wife, I saw Madeline today.
Now we have a cousin Marilyn, but she lives in
a cousin Marilyn. And I said, Madeline? He was trying to say Marion, y'all. So since he called me Malin, I just decided to call him Bubbles. So that's my cousin Bubbles and my cousin T. All right. So anyway, say hi, y'all.
Hello. Where were you this week?
Where was I? I took a trip to Dallas, and I was just thrown off. I had to go up there for some business, actually. And went up there and celebrated Aaron's birthday too. And so it was just it was the last of April. So we had
I saw that.
Crawfish.
Or seafood.
Y'all know how we do it in New Orleans? I mean, you know.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it. But anyway, y'all, it's good to have you guys watching and listening tonight because these two have an amazing story. I mean, I don't have all the details because I stopped her in the middle of her story. And I said, wait a minute. You got to be able to tell this. I said, you think Cousin Bubbles will do this? She said, I don't know. I said, well, I'm going to ask him. So I went and asked him, and God, guess what he said? Guess what he said, y'all? He said, well, I'm really the talker. Everybody called me. He said, I'm really the talker. I said, oh, Lord, okay.
Yeah, just don't ask me to sing.
Just, you can sing. I heard you sing before.
Stop it.
I did. When you was in the shower.
That's what he think. He think he's only a shower singer.
I sang in my truck.
Yes.
I'm a truck singer.
A truck singer.
I mean, I sang in the truck.
So let's get on with this here, because see, we do this all the time, y'all. We do this all the time. But anyway, so how long have you got? You guys just had an anniversary, right?
Yes, ma'am. Wednesday.
How many years?
14.
14 years.
14 years. And I'm going to tell the world that's been perfect 14 years, the whole 14 years, huh?
Yeah,
I wish.
Don't lie.
The devil is a lie.
Well, let me start off, since the people don't know. I'm going to start off with T. So, first, no. Cousin Bubble said he the talker. How y'all met? That's what I want to know. How y'all met?
Wait, you want his version or you want the real version?
I want both of y'all's version.
All right.
I want Cousin Bubbles' version first.
Well, to make a long story short, what actually happened was, okay, was a member, still am a member of Cypress Grove, okay, where her uncle, my uncle also now, is the pastor.
Okay.
So after Katrina, they were displaced. So they would look, they come to visit their uncle's church. So in which I was a member. Now mind you, being a member, I had a certain seat that I sat in. Bottom pole.
Baptist seat.
I had a certain seat that I sat in, and my aunt is the secretary. Her and my first cousin, which is her daughter, they work in the office. So and that's who I was living with at the time. So we go to church every Sunday. After church, we go out and eat, all that good stuff. Anyway, we were at church, and they showed up to church one Sunday. They showed up one Sunday, and they I think it was the second Sunday that they were there that Tina actually sung a song, and she sung one of my favorite songs, I Won't Complain,
Okay.
So, but wait, back up a minute. Before that, we was in like a youth leaders ministry meeting and a singles ministry meeting. And when we was in a single ministry meeting, that's why that's where they actually got to know my name. They didn't know who I was, they just knew my name. And then that Sunday they were singing in church. She sung the solo, and I liked the song, so I told her, and she did. It kind of blew me away. I love to hear good singing, gospel singing, anyway.
Uh-huh.
So I just told her, how much I like the song, how much I enjoyed the song. I actually called her when she came out the door. I didn't tell her that in the church. I kind of went outside and stood outside the door. So
wait, you stalking my cousin?
No, nope. That wasn't. See, I was in my seat, so I couldn't reach her before then. You see, so when she was walking out the door, I was already out the door. So when she stepped out the door, I was kind of like behind the door, and I just told her, how much I enjoyed her song, and then that's when the stalking began. She stalked me from
She started stalking you, huh?
Yeah, but that's how we met.
So cousin Bubbles, so were you married before? I think you were married before that,
yeah,
right?
I was married before. I was married. I was when I got out of high school. Right after high school, I went to the Marine Corps. Okay. So I was in Marine Corps, and right as I got out the Marine Corps, in December of '79, and I got married in June, I think July of '80. Okay. And for me, I was, I knew what a church was at, but that was about it. So my marriage then was just a marriage because I was so caught up in what the world had to offer to that.
Wait, back up. So you married on a booty call. Be real.
In a sense, because there had to be that.
I'm listening to you trying to figure out how to say it. This is real talk, so we just gonna talk real.
But from that, my first daughter was born, which was, and so that in itself made the marriage worth being married. Just the fact that because she was definitely a daddy's girl. Right. And I mean the marriage didn't last, but my relationship with my daughter just it never I never let her stray far away from me. So right. Anyway, so we went through I went through the whole marriage thing, and it changed me. I think around her, when she started to get in high school. When she started getting in high school, my whole world just kind of went in a totally different direction. Right. And then I had my second daughter.
So you have two.
Baby, yes. I had Latrice was the oldest, and then I had Janae. And once Janae was here, I think everything got put in perspective from that point, because I was pretty much kind of raising her as a single father, because, this was after I was divorced, and I've been divorced for many years. And so Janae came along and I mean, she just kind of
your world.
She changed my entire life. And literally it's because of her going by me, she spent a lot of time by my aunt's house, along with Quintel, her first cousin, who's a year older than she is, and literally they look like brothers and sisters. So they would tell everybody brothers and sisters. Well, anyway, when she was she was going to church with them, and she came home one Sunday night, and she said, "Dad, I want to get baptized," and that was in July of 2003. She said, "Dad, I want to get baptized."
Okay.
And that was, and that was putting my life in perspective. From that point on, we were good.
Yeah, awesome. So T, okay, I'm still on the stalking part. So Janae changed your whole perspective and started you to looking differently about not marriage, but family. Okay. So T, what's your story about how you guys met? First, let's talk about first marriage just a little bit.
Okay. The first marriage, I was married for 8 years.
Okay.
And in that time, we separated and got back together 8 times.
You remarried? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
I remarried him, first husband.
The first one. Okay.
Yes. And it was when I was getting divorced the second time, Katrina hit. That's why I call him my Katrina boo. Yes, that's my Katrina boo.
Might have to change your name. Might have to change your name to Bubbles Katrina boo.
Yeah, it was after the second marriage. I was just like, one, I knew it was for me to be married. I was supposed to be married, and I just didn't know who to. So I left the who up to the right person, because I didn't make the correct decision first time. And like you said, we met at church. The stalking was not on my end. The stalking was on his end, because when it was his attention that someone, they didn't say who, but that someone was looking his way. And when he found out who it was, he was able to tell them what I had on and everything.
Okay, case dismissed. You were stalking, Cousin Bubbles.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So that was all done by our aunt, the pastor's wife. She was the one who
Cupid.
Yes, she was. She played Cupid. We were at dinner, and my oldest sister, she was asking our uncle some questions regarding him. They only know him as Bubba, so he couldn't give her his name. So we went over to their house for her birthday, and she couldn't remember what his real name was. So she said, "Hold on a second." So she left out the room, went and called his aunt where he was living, and came back and gave me his telephone number.
Get out of here.
No, ma'am.
And the stalking began.
No. I said, yeah, I want to know who he was, but I'm not how I was raised. You don't call no man.
Okay.
She gave me the number. I had the number, but it wasn't until I sang that song and he grabbed my arm after church and pulled me behind the door when, yes, we began, communicating. And he had the same sentiments that I did as far as getting remarried, that, we made the decision the first time, and it was the wrong decision. That if it was going to happen again, it was going to have to be God.
Okay. So after you guys got married, I'm told that you had to get to know each other, and so there were obviously a few challenges there. Why don't you speak up to the people about one or two challenges that you may have had?
Well, for me, being a stepmom to a teenager, it's something different if you're with an infant, with a teenager, there was some challenges there. Her mom was still in the picture and she had a relationship with her mom. And just like with any child,
Right.
they want mama and daddy together,
Sure.
And he used to tell me a lot that if it's difficult for you to maneuver, you ought to just imagine what she's dealing with.
Right.
And she and I used to butt heads a lot. And I never wanted to put him in the middle of she and I because I only wanted the best for her. But with children in general, any type of instruction or, you can do this, you can't do this, or whatever, they bust against the system.
Of course.
Well, with that, she was feeling some pressures. She was feeling like he was taking my side. I was feeling like she was taking her side,
Let me pause you right there. So Bubbles, so when you saw this happening, I'm sure you saw it. When you saw it, how did that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it was just that much of a struggle for me because I had literally been raising Janae literally completely almost by myself to the fact that she was living with me.
Okay.
She was living with me from around maybe before her second birthday. Okay. And so I didn't, everywhere I went, she went.
Right.
I got up in the morning. I made sure that she got up taking the daycare. I combed her hair. I bathed her.
Wow.
The daycare. I picked her up. I fed her. And all those things.
So it was an adjustment for you as well.
Exactly. And so and she'll probably kill me when I say this, but I mean, Janae, literally, we slept in the same bed, till Janae was like 9 or 10 years old, just because, that comfort level, it was just me and her, and
Right.
and we'll be sitting around doing stuff and I'll fall asleep, but she'll fall asleep in the bed and then when she went to go get in her own room, she'll stay in there half the night and I'd wake up the next morning, she right there next to me.
Right,
so,
she was used to her dad, yeah.
So all we knew was each other in a sense, there was nothing in between her and I, it was always either me or her, and that was it. So it was just an adjustment just to bring that other person in, and,
right.
And when you do, you understand that, that there's, that it's a whole new dynamic now. So you just had to just kind of creep around through it, allow things to happen the way that they were going to happen, and have input. The key to that for me was you had to pick battles. You can't react and go off on every little thing.
Right. So would you agree with me that communication is the key here?
It's definitely key because what happens is when the communication is not there, so then you have this side, that side, and the middle,
Right.
And so, in other words, to put it in layman's terms, you have my side, her side, and the truth.
Look, they tell me there's two sides to every story and only one truth.
Even with communication, it wasn't just important that he communicated with me. He had to make sure he communicated with her as well.
Yes.
And he made sure that he tried to do that, because that combated her feelings of, him always siding with me, opening and communicating with her, making sure that, she understood what was going on. Because like I said, even though she was a teenager, she's still growing,
right. Right. So do you think that at some time, maybe sometimes she pitted one of you against each other? Some children do that, ask you one thing and then ask the dad the other thing.
Yeah, well, no, what she would do is she would always go to him first.
Smart child.
With her or not, she would call him first on everything.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes that would cause a different dynamic or whatever, but he would constantly have to remind me if this is what she's experiencing as the child. Just remember, if this is what you're experiencing as the adult, if this is what you're experiencing as the adult, just imagine what she's experiencing and feeling as the child. And I had to remind myself of that a lot.
Yeah. For me, the biggest challenge in that was because, it's almost kind of like taking a fish out of water. Because if all she ever knew was daddy, if all she ever seen was daddy, because when she had to go to doctor's appointments, had hospitals, all that was me. That was me. Whenever she had a need to be met, that was me. Whenever she had somewhere to be, that was me. When something was going on at school, that was me. So and I knew and understood it was an adjustment for her. So I had to kind of make it an adjustment for me too, to realize that, we all got to go through it, and it's like walking through a minefield. You have to, you have to step with caution because you don't want to lean too much one way and make the other side feel like, well, I'm being ignored, or I'm being, it's called balance. You have to find.
Absolutely.
And I think we eventually found the balance. So
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
What did you say, cousin? Eventually. Awesome. So let's see. So you found the balance, and you guys have come together as a family, and your children at that time recognized that this is my wife and she is first, but you will always be near me. She understood that. Am I not correct?
Yes. Now, like I said, that eventually came. We had to go through some challenges and things of that sort. He and I, we almost came to the point of divorce.
Okay, stop right there. What brought that on? And I'm gonna leave it for y'all to tell the folks about it next week. So this perfect marriage in the very beginning of meeting and allowing their faith, God, to direct them and guide them to each other, and accepting their challenges of being a stepmom and a father that has to put his wife first now, who has had his children first for a long time. They're almost about to end this thing. And let's see what happens next week. And we're just doing what, cousin?
Real talk.
Real talk. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for watching DTM Real Talk. Be sure to join us for more conversation. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe while you're there.